Welcome, beautiful souls. My name is Mother Mara, and this is Mother Mara's Magic Minute. If you're returning, thank you for walking this path with me again. And if this is your first time here, I want you to know that this space was created with love, intention, and curiosity. Sometimes this podcast is about finding magic in the everyday. Sometimes it feels heavy as we honor grief, faith, or the messy truth of healing, which is never a straight line. Sometimes it's about exploring the spiritual, the metaphysical, the unusual, or the supernatural. Other times it's fun, lighthearted, or even scientific. Sometimes we'll have guests, sometimes it'll just be you and me. But always at its heart, this podcast is about the journey, the chaotic, beautiful, unpredictable journey of being human and learning the world together. My mission is to share stories, hold space, and invite you to discover the magic that's hidden in plain sight, even when life feels impossible. So wherever you are, however you've arrived here, I welcome you into this circle. You are seen, you are valued, and you are part of this unfolding journey.
Good morning, dear listeners. I hope today finds you in a happy place, somewhere calm, somewhere peaceful, somewhere good. Come to you today feeling pretty elated. Many of you know that I am a new author, a new podcaster, new pretty much everything. Anyway, I finally got my book submitted, my book in softcover and ebook, and I'm so excited. I'm so very excited. Just going through the process and seeing it come together. Like they have an editing thing that I went through and creating the book cover and creating all the little pages inside, like the about the author, and seeing my name and my picture and knowing that after 20 years, well, actually almost 30 years of work now, I'm finally going to be published. I'm finally putting decades of work out there, and I'm so proud of myself. Here at a point in my life where I am experiencing tremendous pain, and I've experienced tremendous loss. I've used it to pick myself up and do the things that I put on the back burner my entire existence. I know that I may not live forever, and I don't have a lot of time to just play around anymore. I think this book is important. I think the other ones that I'm working on are also important. I think this podcast is important. I think my message of healing and love is important. And I don't know how much time I have to get it out there, so I'm going to do as much as I can now. So, it will be available on Amazon. I won't be able to do a hardcover because the book is literally 700 and something pages. And unfortunately, the hardcover has a limit. So if the book is popular, what I might do is do a 2-book series in a hardcover for those fans who really would love to have the hardcover version. And I most likely would do like signed editions with those. I still have to work on the collection. The Crawl collection is the next series that I'm putting out. And my goal is to honestly have it done by October 29th, which is my birthday. So that is going to be a decent amount of work, but I look forward to it. I already have a children's book that I wrote probably 15 years ago that I need to put out there as well. And I'm also doing my autobiography, which I had written it when I was in my 20s, just like I wrote Lilith Rising in my 20s. And then Lilith Rising actually got burned by a person I was living with. They burned all my things. So they burned the original version of that book. The autobiography I wrote knowing that it would be traumatizing for my family members. And then literally, as soon as I finished, my grandfather died. And I loved my grandfather with everything in my being, and I felt like it would be disrespectful to him to publish it. So I literally just put it away and didn't touch it. It's being rewritten. So it won't be published until January. But basically, that it's going to be fairly traumatic. It's going to go through all the trauma and horrible experiences I had. I'm going to do a scientific breakdown on what those things do to the developing human brain. And the reason I want to do that is because I'm hoping to try to put forward a bill that allows people who have been mentally abused or physically abused or any kind of abuse or neglect from a parental figure to be able to then, as an adult, if they have long-lasting trauma, disability, things related to what they experienced as children, for them to be able to literally go after the parent financially for the damage they've done. Because there are a lot of people in this world who are chronically ill or have disabilities who experience childhood abuse, like me, who have fibromyalgia, who have cancer, who have all these diseases that make living a normal life financially difficult. And I think that parents should be held responsible. I think if more parents were held financially responsible for their actions and the damage it does to their children, we would have a society where people would take it more seriously caring for their kids. When there is no consequence, there is no change. So I hope to be some of that change in our world, to be the voice. And it's hard. It's hard opening myself up. Showing the world everything that I am and everything that I've went through isn't an easy thing. I spent my whole life kind of trying to stay out of the spotlight. I knew that I had spiritual gifts that a lot of people didn't have, and or know how to utilize. I think that everybody has the capacity. Everybody has abilities, they just don't know how to get there. But knowing that, and knowing that can be and has been in history a dangerous thing, I've always isolated myself from that, like not let people see all of who I am. Because that's scary. It's scary. So now to lay all of myself bare, to put myself out there in a way that opens up everything, every horrible experience, every trauma, and even things like I'm putting in there things that were embarrassing for me, like ways that I reacted and why I reacted that way, because I think it's important. It's important to not feel guilty for the way that your child mind survives. So anyway, there's a lot. This book right now that I am publishing is Lilith Rising. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it because I don't want to gloss over it. It's probably the most important thing. Not that my autobiography isn't important, but I think it's going to appeal to a certain sector of people where hopefully Lilith Rising reaches more people. So anyway, Lilith Rising is everything that I could have ever wanted to write put into one book. My entire life I've studied religion and faith and pretty much every religious book we have, the Dead Sea Scrolls, everything. I have tried to gain as much knowledge as I could about faith. And then I've also been like an avid fan of Anne Rice, of Stephen King, of Dean Koontz. Like, there's so many amazing horror writers out there. And as a child, because of the traumas I was experiencing, I tended to turn to things like horror movies as a way to cope, because at least my monsters weren't quite as scary as theirs. Even though, I mean, in the long run, yeah, they kind of were. So anyway, when I was, I'd say 18 or 19, I decided that I was going to write my own vampire origin novel. A mythos created around Lilith. And that's what I've done. I've followed Lilith from the conception of humanity to the recreation of basically almost a new world order of peace and prosperity. But she goes through everything along the way. Every important part of history, you can see her hand in. You can see it through her eyes, through the scope of this wise, powerful woman who wouldn't bow. She loves humanity. She falls in love with who we are, and she tries to save us. She becomes the mother to everyone. And in doing so, she creates different creatures, not out of spite, not to create monsters, but out of genuine love and compassion. And I can't wait for you guys to take that journey with me. And I want you to know right away that I already have plans for probably about 20 other novels that are going to expand from this universe, from Lilith's universe, from her mythos, if you will. Every creature, every mythical creature that is covered in the book will have its own series. And then I've already started working on the second book in the direct line of Lilith. So yeah, we're going to be looking at a very large collection, hopefully. If my health stays good, I have a lot of goals. I have a lot of work already put into the concepts behind the other books. The only thing really stopping me right now is just time itself. I feel so motivated to do it all, but it feels like I just don't have enough time. So I'm going to be pushing very hard, and hopefully I can get some really good books out there for you. And like I said, I'm not doing this to be famous. I don't like the idea of fame. I'm, I would say, allergic to the concept of fame and money. I'm doing this because I really, truly believe there are people that I can help. That my books can reach people that need to see them, that need to read them, that need to hear them. And then hopefully maybe some of those people will find me on my website, will come to a retreat, will come and just grow a little bit with me. We're at a place in this world where there is so much need for healing and so much ugliness and so much hate, and it breaks my heart every single day. And so I sat wondering, what can I do? What can I do as this disabled person in a wheelchair who is poor? What can I do? And I can use my voice. I don't have money. I don't have influence. And a lot of times I barely have the energy to do my day-to-day stuff, but I can use my voice. So I'm using my voice for you. For every one of you who has thought that the world wasn't the way it was supposed to be. For every one of you who has screamed into a pillow as you fought back tears from somebody hurting or oppressing you. I'm writing it for all the survivors, for all the women screaming, when will it be our time to be okay? I'm here for you. And if I have to stand in front of a bunch of people to do it, I will. If I have to give up my private little life, I will. Because right now, we need healers. We need unconditional love. We need compassion and empathy. And I need a bunch of you, all of you, to reach out and voice those things. And if you're too damaged, if you're too caught under your own pain, come to me. Let's heal what's there. Let's help you find a path through it. Let me help you find your own strength. Lilith wants you to have your own strength. Let's rise. Let's rise together. I'd like to thank listeners for coming today, for joining me in this short little talk about my life. I would really appreciate if you'd like, if you could subscribe, if you'd share the video, if it touched you. And please feel free to check out Lilith Rising. It'll be available on Amazon.com. Any purchases, any support are deeply appreciated. And again, I love you, and I wish you all so very well. Till next time, this is Mother Mara signing out. Have a great day.